She dared me to leave, convinced I was nothing without her.
She said it like it was a joke, but her eyes were sharp. Go ahead. Leave, she smirked, leaning against the marble counter like she owned the air around her. I'd give you a week without me. We were standing in the penthouse she loved to remind me was hers. Floor 2 ceiling windows, city lights spilling in. Expensive art chosen by consultants who nodded at everything she liked. I had just finished another late night of work, papers spread neatly across the island, numbers balanced, risks contained, the same invisible work I had done for years. I didn't raise my voice, I didn't defend myself, I didn't ask her to take it back. I just took the keys from my pocket and placed them on the counter, one by one, the penthouse key, the car key, the private elevator fob. Each soft clink sounded louder than it should have. Her smile faltered for half a second. What are you doing? She asked. You told me to leave, I said calmly. So I am. She laughed again, but this time it was forced. You'll be back. You always are. You don't last without this family. I put on my coat and walked out without another word. I didn't take the elevator. I took the stairs 40-plus floors down because I needed the time to think, not to panic, to focus. By the time I reached the lobby, my decision was made. She believed everything came from her family's name. She believed I was lucky to be there. She never understood the difference between owning something and building it. That night, I didn't go to a hotel. I went to my office. Not the one she knew about, but the one I'd kept separate for years. The quiet one. The one where the real work happened. I sent 3 messages. Just one word in each, execute. By dawn, the systems I had designed began responding exactly as intended. Credit access paused, authorizations rerouted. Trust controls reverted, nothing illegal. Just the removal of my name from structures that depended entirely on it. Across the city, she woke up assuming nothing had changed. The first call came from her father before sunrise. I let it ring twice before answering. What did you do? He demanded, his voice tight with panic. I left, I replied, just like your daughter suggested. You can't just walk away and pull everything with you. I didn't pull anything, I said evenly. I withdrew my authorizations. The same ones you asked me to hold when you needed stability. Silence, then a sharp breath. He knew. He'd signed every document. He trusted me to build what he never wanted to manage himself. By mid-morning, her world began to shrink. Cards declined. Accounts flagged, assistants stopped answering. The systems she thought ran on family money revealed what they really ran on, my work. She called me next. Angry at first, then frantic. You're doing this to hurt me, she accused. No, I said. I'm doing this because you told me I was nothing without you. I decided to test that theory, she screamed. I ended the call. The truth came out faster than I expected. Not because I exposed it, but because once I stepped away, everything she'd hidden started collapsing under its own weight. Debt she couldn't explain. Projects propped up with my personal funds. A reputation polished by systems she never understood. People who smiled at her at gala stopped returning calls. Boards she chaired asked uncomfortable questions. Friends who loved her lifestyle disappeared when it stopped being free. A week passed. She didn't come to beg. She came to negotiate. She looked smaller when she stood in my office doorway, her confidence stripped down to exhaustion. She said she hadn't meant it, that she was stressed, that we could fix things. I listened without interrupting. Then I told her I knew about the affair. The hotel rooms. The money. The plans she'd been making to leave me and take everything, all while pretending I'd contributed nothing. Her face went pale. I never thought you'd find out, she whispered. That's because you never thought I mattered, I replied. The divorce wasn't loud. It was precise, facts over feelings. Documentation over stories. She signed because she had no other option. Not because I threatened her, but because the truth was heavier than any lie she could tell. Our daughter figured things out on her own. Teenagers always do. She saw who stayed calm, who answered questions, who didn't lie. She chose to stay with me, not out of anger, but out of trust. Months passed. The company her family built survived, but only because it finally acknowledged who had been holding it together. I didn't return as a favor. I returned as a professional on my terms, with respect written into every agreement. The penthouse was sold. The illusion faded. My life became quieter, a smaller house. More honesty, dinner with my kids. Work that ended before midnight. One evening, I stood on my balcony overlooking the river. My phone buzzed with a message from someone new, someone who knew me without needing me to shrink. I thought back to that night, to the smirk, the challenge, the certainty in her voice when she said I'd be back in a week. She was wrong. I didn't come back because I finally understood something she never did. When someone builds their identity on what they inherit, they panic when it disappears. But when someone builds themselves, they don't. Walking away wasn't my loss. It was the moment I remembered exactly who I was. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe for more stories like this.